Okay, so today's class is increase profits by avoiding decision fatigue. And hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate to you how this is a real thing. This is a real issue that you may not be aware of and how important it is to fight against it. Okay, so let's get started. What is the definition of decision fatigue? Decision fatigue is mental exhaustion resulting from the sheer number of decisions a person must make daily, leading to difficulty making decisions or making good decisions. Okay, this is from the Carson College of Business and Washington State University. So bottom line is, and all of us are involved. Let me start my video. Okay, all of us are involved in making decisions throughout our day. The more decisions that we have to make throughout our day, the more we are prone to make bad decisions. And it's just the probabilities, if nothing else, right? If you have to make two decisions, the chances are good that one of those two decisions is going to be a good one. But if you have to make 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 decisions in a day, you might make a few along the way that are not good. And the longer you go in the stretch of having to make decisions, the more you just don't give a hoot what decision you make. You just got to make one. You know what I mean? Which also usually leads to not a good decision. Okay. So let's keep going. What causes decision fatigue? Having to make multiple decisions throughout the day eats up the glucose in your brain. So this is how it works. Your brain lives on glucose. We're going to feed your brain and it's going to wake it up. Your brain lives on glucose. And the more you have to make decisions, the more concentration it takes for you, the more you'll eat up that glucose. It's the reason why, in fact, I can't remember who did the study of chess masters, right? When they enter a tournament, how much weight they lose from sitting there playing chess. How much weight they lose because they're consuming calories. Their bodies is just eating up calories. Okay, all the little decisions that they have to make, all the permutations that they have to figure out as they're playing the game. Okay, now low glucose levels causes neurotransmitter loss. So, and when you lose neurotransmitters, it leads to impulsivity and lack of self-control. So in other words, just the constant pressure of having to make decisions starts lowering your focus, lowering your self-control to the point that you just don't care what decision you make. You just got to make a decision and you do whatever. Okay. Again, which is impulsivity, which is like self-control. And when you get to that point in your trading, you're not trading your plan anymore, right? You're trading your lack of control, which is not good. Let's keep forward. So symptoms, for example, inability to focus or concentrate. This is some of the things that you're going to see. You know that you are under the spell of decision fatigue when you can't concentrate, you can't focus. Lack of emotional regulation. You start having outbursts. I don't know if you have experienced this, but when you are tired, all of us do this, right? When you're tired, you sometimes may raise your voice, you sometimes yell at people, you become irritable, right? Because you are losing your ability to control your emotions due to the lack of glucose in your brain, okay? Increased procrastination. You let things slide and slide and slide and slide because you don't want to do them because you're tired. Okay, again, you lack the ability to control yourself to go and do the thing that you know you should do. Acting impulsively. We know this from what I said just a minute ago. Things that you normally wouldn't do, you end up doing under these conditions because, again, your ability to restrain yourself has been removed from the decision fatigue. You're feeling overwhelmed, too much stuff is on you at the same time. And again, what do we do when we have so much? It's like, forget it, whatever. You know what I mean? We give into this whatever attitude that is so terrible in life, really, and in trading for sure. Spending too much time making decisions, especially small ones. This is something that you should know. This is one of the reasons why, even though in my life I know I need detailed persons. And I know that in some areas of my life, especially in trading for sure, I'm very detailed, right? I'm looking very specifically at certain things in order to make decisions for entry or not. I eliminate a lot of things. I have eliminated a lot of things out of my life that just don't matter, right? I mean, if it's not going to make a difference 5 years from now, I'm not going to spend 20 minutes thinking about it. I'm not. I'm going to make a decision and just keep forward because if it's not really going to matter, I'm going to take my time, maybe take a day or two, maybe pray, maybe meditate to come up with a big decision, right? Because it's going to matter 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it's going to matter. But if it's not going to matter 5 years, like for example, okay, what socks I wear today? Does it really matter to anybody other than my wife? Because it might irritate her if it doesn't coordinate. Does it really matter? You know, if my shirt doesn't match my jeans, does it really matter? It doesn't matter. And people in the morning may go into the closet, and I understand this. If you work in an office environment, going to work with the same clothes you wore twice this week is not a good look, right? But there are so many people that begin their day all stressed out already because they have to go into the closet and figure out what they're going to wear. I don't want to think about it. In fact, I remember hearing about Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs and also Elon Musk, right? Super intelligent people, people who have to make a lot of decisions during the day. They always wear the same clothes every day. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same t-shirt to work every day. Steve Jobs wore the same t-shirt and jeans every day. Why? They were eliminating the decision process. They don't want to think about it. Okay. They don't want to spend a second thinking about something that just doesn't matter. Okay. And when you are under decision fatigue or something that causes decision fatigue is spending too much time thinking about little things that don't really matter. Okay. Moving forward, unhappy once you make a decision. This is another symptom that's horrible, right? You spend all your time trying to come up with a decision. Again, that most of the time doesn't really matter. And then after you make the decision, you don't like the decision you make because you weren't sure because you spend so much time. It's that whole paralysis analysis, paralysis by analysis. You're thinking over something, you're thinking over something, you're thinking over something, you're thinking over something so much. When you finally make your decision, now you regret the decision that you made. It's just silly. One of the things that Dale Carnegie, I know that Dan Pena says it for sure, but I'm trying to remember if it was Dale Carnegie or some other one of our very famous personal development writers who said successful people make decisions quickly and then make those decisions right. In other words, they're not trying to make the decision right from the beginning. They just do the pros and cons, more pros and cons, they go for it. And then they go about proving their decision right by the actions that follow. All of us know that most of the decisions in life that really matter, again, it's going to be a series of decisions. It's not a one-time thing that you just do it once and forget it. Especially with trading, this is something that we come to the market every day. We come to the market every day. We come to the market every day, and so it's not going to be a one time and forget it. We're going to continue to make little decisions, and so we just make a decision like on any given trade. This trade right now, let me look and see how it's doing. Okay, this trade right now, it's in drawdown, right? It's still holding fine. But if I don't like the way it's moving, before it hits my stop loss, I may get out. And it's okay if I do. And if I lose, it's okay. And if I decide that and if I lose, right? If I choose to close it in a loss, and then it starts moving my direction, I decide to enter again, I can do that too. It's just not that, it's just one trade of the thousands that I've made and the thousands more that I'm going to make. It's no big deal. I just see an edge and I go for it. That's it. Simple as that. Okay. Let's keep going. This is by Madeline Mize from Better Up. Okay. How does it relate to trading? Okay. Too many choices. Okay. For example, pairs, strategies, sessions, trades, or too much screen time depletes your brain glucose. If you spend too much time in concentration, trying to make decisions, It is eating up the resources of your brain little by little, little bit. This is not something you even feel. This is why I was mentioning how, you can notice it in your symptoms. You can notice it because of what's happening. It's like you have heard me before say, you know what you're thinking, not by what you think you're thinking. You know what you are thinking by what you do. Okay? What you do is really shows you what you are thinking. Just because you have an idea, this is where philosophers get in trouble, right? When they spend all their time espousing philosophies and the virtues of philosophies that they themselves don't live. Well, if you can't put it into practice, if it doesn't have any feet in your life, it's useless. It's better to keep the rules of your life to a very few simple ones and actually live those. Because if you live those few, you're going to learn a lot about those few. If you try to learn a huge, vast amount, you're going to learn a little bit about all this vast amount, and you're not going to really have anything of value long term to sustain you. So, in trading, too many choices, such as pairs, strategies, and sessions and trades, or too much screen time depletes your glucose. Often, this results in impulsive actions such as overtrading, revenge trading, and over risking. If you have suffered, and I have done all these, right? We have all gone through this. It's just a question of, okay, how long are you going to keep doing it until you make the switch? And perhaps this lesson will help you understand why it is that you fall into that trap of just repeating it over and over and over and over. You, especially in a trading session, especially if you lost a trade or two trades or whatever, and all of a sudden you just spiral. Right now you're doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because you want trying to get that money back again. Over trading, revenge trading, over risking. All of those are due to impulsivity. That impulsivity came about because you lost self-control. And you lost self-control. Why? Because your glucose has been depleted for your brain. Let's keep going. Afterwards, you're unhappy because you know better. You knew better. You knew not to do it, but you ended up doing it anyway. What benefit is it to know what we're supposed to do, but not do it, and then feel guilty for not doing it? That's an endless cycle of self-sabotage that leads to keeping you stuck where you are. We need to break out of that. And one of the best ways that I know to break out of it is just make a decision and go. Just make a decision and commit to that decision. Commit to that decision. Okay? Whatever the outcome. And when you become free from the need to have it right every time, you grow into loving the flow of being able to change your mind whenever. It's okay. You can change your mind. I don't like it. I don't like this trade anymore. I'm out. Again, in the spectrum of the thousands of trades that you're going to take, it doesn't matter. It's a very small thing. Just keep going forward. Okay, let's keep going. But you couldn't stop yourself in the moment. I've been here, and I'm sure several of you have been here, and some of you may be there. Hopefully this lesson will help you. Avoiding decision fatigue. Reduce decision making. Example, magic keys. It's one of the reasons why I use magic keys, right? It's a commercial on magic keys. And yes, I do have an affiliate with this. With this one, I do have an affiliate. This little thing right here reduces so many decisions. Okay. If you have already determined what lot size, again, because this is all about preparation, determine what lot size, and you have programmed it into this. And if you have determined how many trades you're going to take per day, this blocks you from doing any more. Okay. Just press a key. You don't have to think about your lot size or figuring out what the lot size. You just put a line here, put a line there, press the key, boom, there it is, and it's got your right lot size. You're never going to over risk because you already told it how much you wanted to risk. So this is one of the things: reducing decision making, choosing ahead of time your pair, choosing ahead of time your session. All those things that reduce the amount of decisions that you have to make in the moment. We're going to talk about that later on as I talk about a trading plan. Okay, build routines into your trading. You have heard me say this before. when it comes to trading or anything else in life that you're trying to master, do it the same way over and over and over again. Just keep doing it the same way over and over again and tweak it here and there, here and there. Give it enough data so that you know you have enough information from your actions that this needs to be corrected. And when it comes to trading 20, 30 trades, it's a number there. If you're back testing a strategy, then do 50 to 100 trades. Once you have done 50 to 100 trades and you are in the game now, then again, about 20 trades, that's probably a good enough number for you to recognize, okay, something's not working just quite right. Let me look at my data. And again, tweak, 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 because you already have a routine in place and the routine only needs to be tweaked just a little bit. For example, if you are committed to working out, not every day you're going to have the energy to do a full workout. Not every day you're going to be able to run the 3 miles or the 2 miles or 1 mile, whatever it is. Not every day you'll be able to do it. Levels of energy are different every day. And sometimes because of other priorities, that's not going to be the priority of the day. All right. So, but if you have built it as a routine into your day, then just adjust it. Adjust it. You used to go for 3, today you're going to do 2. You know, you used to do for 2, today you're going to do 1. You used to work out for 40 minutes, today you're going to work out for 30 minutes. Because that's the energy that you have, and those are, but you are maintaining the routine. By maintaining the routine, you are eliminating decision making. You are, because it's already decided. You don't have to decide today what you're going to, you already decided it a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever. It's already decided, done. Automate processes. This is another reason why I like Magic Keys. And this is about systems. If you have systems placed in your life, it eliminates the thinking process. I think it was Henry Ford. I think it was him who took somebody to court for defamation because this editor in a newspaper, I think this is how the story goes, said that he wasn't an intelligent man. And so he sued him for libel. I can't remember what it was. And the guy was trying to prove how intelligent he was, and he was asking him all these routine questions that most people with a little bit of education would know. And he didn't know the answers to them. And then the lawyer was trying to prove that that meant that he wasn't intelligent. And he said, why should I keep all those data in my brain when I have to my disposal 10, 20 assistants that can find my information just like that, and I can keep my brain for thinking? Our brains are for thinking, not warehousing data for data's sake. Okay, it's for thinking, to automate processes. This is again systems. We create systems in our lives to eliminate the thinking process. We find the formulas that work and we stick to those formulas. If supply and demand work with X type of consistency, why do we need to think about it anymore? If price returns to supply, we sell. If price returns to demand, we buy. If the break and retest of support and resistance works with X amount of consistency, why do we need to think about going in or not when we already know the system? Sometimes it's going to fail. We know that. And if it fails, we mitigate. I mean, that's really it. Okay, let's keep going. Manage stress. Obviously, stress wears down resistance. Stress wears down your glucose, wears down your ability to focus, wears down your ability to maintain self-control. So manage it. You can't eliminate it completely. You know, if you have people who you are responsible for, you can't eliminate it. If you have accepted that responsibility, then that's a constant stress on you. It's a stress on your mind. It's a stretch on your body. It's a stress on your time. It's a stretch on your relationships. And so what we must learn to do is manage the stress. We can't eliminate it completely. We manage it so that we give attention to what needs to give attention when we're in front of it. And when we're in front of the other thing and the thing that needs taken care of, we're in front of that. Get sufficient rest. Obviously, this is super important. Sufficient rest is different for everybody. You don't have to get 8 hours every day, but you know when you need your rest. Getting sufficient rest is super important to avoid decision fatigue. Okay, and do inner work. Now, inner work is the meditation, it's the prayer, it's journaling. When we take the things that are worrying us up here and we put them on paper, they stop being here and they are now on the paper. And if they are on the paper, I don't have to worry about it up here. On the paper, I can look at it, I can analyze it, I can look for solutions, I can implement best practices for it. I can get advice, I can get help, I can get counsel, I can do some research on the internet to find out how to best deal with it, right? But it's over here. It's not here anymore. Make a daily list if you have to of to-dos. The whole point of the to-do list is that now I don't have to think about it. The whole point of writing things in an agenda is that now I don't have to remember that meeting or that the thing that I have to meet. No, because I have systems in place again to take care of those things. So the inner work is releasing your mind from all the things that cause stress and bringing your inner state into a state of peace, calmness, and relaxation. The best results usually comes when we are in a relaxed state. Sometimes we think that because society teaches us, right, to work hard, work hard, work hard. We think that working hard sometimes is the thing to do because that's what they tell us so much. Doing inner work means quieting the mind, creating an inside world where you can release your intuition to bring from your subconscious to your conscious mind things that you already know. All we have to do is bring it to the surface, but we don't usually bring it to the surface because we occupy our lives with so many things. Don't ever take a minute to sit down and just be quiet. That and it doesn't give it time to bubble to the surface. And that's my point about not working harder. It actually just comes to the surface. It just bubbles up to the surface. It doesn't rush you. You can't push it. You can't bring it. It just slowly rises. And there it is. Okay. Plan. And by plan, I mean have a plan. Have a plan of action for your day. Have a plan of action for your family, for your income, for anything that's important in your life, and for sure for trading. So a trading plan. If you've been with me any length of time, you should have this. What pair are you going to trade? You already know me. I trade 3 pairs. When I come to the market, I don't have to think about what I'm going to trade. I already know what I'm going to trade. It's going to be these 3. And if I don't like one of them, it's going to be these 2. And if I don't like one of those 2, it's going to be that 1. That's it. That's it. I'm not looking for another pair. This is what I trade. What pair? That eliminates decision making. You already got your pair. What session? Okay, I'm trading London. Okay. Now, this week, I'm trading New York. But okay, so that decision's made. I'm trading New York. Okay, that's it. What pair? Gold, GBP, JPY, GBP, USD. What session? New York. What risk? I already know. I'm going to risk 0.75, 0.8, maybe 1, but it's not going to be much more than that. It's already in here. I don't have to figure it out. It's already in here. Which strategy? I already know. Break and retest or supply and demand. That's it. How do I know which of those 2 and I'm going to employ? The way I determine which one I'm going to employ is where is price in my zone? Price is at the edge of my setup. I'm going to see if I can get a breakout. If I don't get a breakout, was there a fake out? If there's a fake out, now can we go to the other side? Then I'm going to enter. But I'm not going to randomly take any place in the chart. I'm going to look to see where it is in relation to my zones. And if I can get myself a supply or a demand at the zone, then that's a no-brainer, right? That's just a more confluence. But I already know what strategy. I'm employing 2. There's many. I'm only employing 2. Okay. Confirmation for entry. What's my confirmation for entry? I already know. Price returning to the zone. If it's a break and retest, price returning to supply and demand. If it's and giving me a confirmation candle. If I'm waiting for the confirmation candle, right? But again, that's something you have to decide ahead of time. I'm taking the first touch. I'm taking the confirmation candle, whichever one. I'm waiting for rejection. Whatever it is, you already have decided that ahead of time. Not in the moment. Exit strategy. Where is my exit strategy? Where am I taking this trade to? Okay, you see me do it, right? You see me do it every night. If we break from here, do I have a range? Okay, the range is 30 pips. If I can get 20, I'm going to be happy with that. My exit strategy, 20 pips. Decision made. Max number of trades, 1 to 2 trades. That's it, 1 to 2 trades. If I win the first one, I'm not likely to take a second one. If I lose the first one, I may take a second one. Sometimes if the market is really hot and I can see it clearly, I'll take those 2 trades. But most of the time, 1 trade. At the most, 2 trades. Max loss per trade, max loss per day. Again, this is not something that you decide after you have taken your loss. This is something you decide before. So if I'm trading, this is the reason why I like to trade the 0.75. I like to trade the 0.75 because if I lose that one and I lose another one, I still only lost 1.5 for the day, and I'm way below my max loss, which is 3% for the day. I'm way below. I'm so far below that if I want to take another trade, I can, but very likely I won't. Okay, when not to trade, news, holidays, and I put here, I added this to the after a win, right? After a win is rarely a good thing to go back in, because now if you lose the profits that you had, what are you going to do? Are you going to take another trade? And if you lose that one, are you going to take a fourth one? You know, when does it stop? You got to know ahead of time when you're going to stop. Okay, and that has to be in your trading plan, and your trading plan has to be one that you won't violate for nothing. It's easier to tweak the plan than tweak your mind in the process of on a daily basis. In conclusion, wrapping it up, decision fatigue is a real thing. It will wreck. You know this already if you have experienced it, okay? It will wreck your trade, your account, and your mind. That's the part that really worries me with some traders, and it should worry every trader. Because you can lose a trade, and maybe you can even blow your account. But when your mind gets wrecked by it, you're traumatized from the darn thing, and now you're going to be hesitant. You're not going to get in when you're supposed to get in. You're not going to take that retest when you know you should be taking it. You're not going to enter when you're supposed to be entering it. You're not going to use the right lot size to max benefit from it, because your mind has been altered from the experience. So we need to guard against it. Okay, it is a true enemy that must be dealt with up front. Something that we need to acknowledge. Every single one of us has a breaking point. Okay, as far as decision fatigue, every single one of us. Perhaps some of us can handle 5 decisions a day. Yeah, others can handle 10, maybe. But at some point, your breaking point comes. And don't be thinking that you're going to recognize what your breaking point is. You're going to find out what your breaking point is in retrospect, looking back to the poor decisions that you already made. In other words, the results will have already happened, and now you find out that you're under decision fatigue. Not good. Better to prepare ahead of time. I think it was, again, I learned this from Roger Banks, okay? Going back to decision fatigue, that when it comes to financial decisions, humans can make 1 to 2 decisions a day max without entering into decision fatigue. Because money is such a thing that it's so stressful in the attaining of it, in the keeping of it, in the multiplying of it, in the securing it for our families. You know, it's really, really important, you know. In a capitalist environment, or an environment where you are secured by your own efforts and not the state, it is super important, right? Because you're the one who has to produce it. We need to deal with this darn monster ahead of time, prepare and anticipate ahead of time. And usually, again, 1 to 2 decisions a day financially is what we can do. And so therefore, again, 1 to 2 trades is where I focus. Limiting choices at the trading desk is a must to avoid it. Okay, in other words, when you come to the trading desk, you should have already eliminated a whole bunch of decisions. For example, I have 3 computers. I don't need to figure out which computer I'm going to trade from. I'm going to trade from this computer. I don't need to know what chart I'm going to use. I know the chart I'm using. I don't need to think about the platform that I'm using. I don't need to think about the lot size and everything else. Those decisions have already been made. So all I have to think about, the only thing I have to think about when I come to the trading desk, is recognizing my edge. which can be difficult. Recognizing the edge sometimes can be difficult. Okay, price action is moving in such a way that is that an edge or isn't it? Is that an entry or not? Sometimes it's very clear, and then a lot of other times it's like, I don't know, is that a buy? Is that a sell? I'm not sure. And so I want to be able to keep my mind free from all the other decisions so that I can focus on price action. What is price doing around my zones? What is it doing? Is it selling? Is it buying? You have heard me say sometimes, hey, I think sales have started, right? It hasn't broken the zone, but I can see it, right? From the price action, sales have started. I think sales have started, okay? And so now it's going to be confirmed if it actually breaks out from the bottom, right? How can I do that? I can do that because I'm not vested. I don't have to have it sell. I don't have to have it buy. I'm just observing it. I don't have a need for it to do one thing or another. I just want to see what it's doing. And since my emotions are not vested in it, my money is not vested in it, and my money's not really vested in it because, again, my risk is limited. If I lose, I'm going to lose something I feel comfortable with. And if I win, hopefully I can double what I risk. Sometimes, and a lot of times, I take the 1-to-1, and I'm happy with that. Sometimes at the 1-to-1, I'll take partials, and then I can let the rest run. Whatever it is that I have to remain comfortable in the trade so I can continue to trade it and manage it rather than be stressed about it, right? Because if I'm stressed about it, I've already lost control. I already lost the trade. Okay. Following a predetermined plan, process, or system is key to avoiding it. Okay. I already talked to you. And if you didn't have a trading plan, I just gave you one, right? Be sure to whether it is, watch this again, write it down, copy it, whatever it is that you need to do. If you don't have one, it simplifies everything when you have it and when you have confidence in it. This is one of the things I'm going to say about the trading plan. Many times you have a trading plan and you don't follow it because you don't have any confidence in it. And I have to admit that it took me a long time to have confidence in my trading plan. Because if you spend any time looking out there are a whole bunch of different trading plans. Some people trade the Bollinger Band. Some people trade the Fibonacci's. Some people trade the pivot points. Some people do break and retest, supply and demand, volume trading. What's the other one? Order flows. There are many ways in which you could, and all of them can work. But usually they do work because it works for the person that is presenting it, not necessarily because it's going to work for you. So because I saw so many other plans, I lacked confidence in my plan, and this might help you. You know what helped me to find out that I could trust my system is that I journaled my trades. When I went back over a 3-year period and I looked at my before and afters, before link and after link, I had them all for 3 years. When I went through each one of those and I did the numbers and found out that my strategy was working 80 to 85% of the time, and it was my strategy. These were my setups, not somebody else's, not Jay's, not Joe's. These were my setups. My setups were paying off 80 to 85%. It's like, what else do I need? Why have I been doubting? So in other words, do your research on your setups. Because right now you may have confidence in my setups, but you want to be free from me. I mean, really, right? If I, if I go to sleep and don't wake up, you want to be able to do your own. And so do your setups, grow in confidence with your setups, study the results of your setups, analyze them, do the weekly recap like I do. I haven't done it in a bit, but I always do, by the way. I always do look at my trades. I just don't always make a video, but I always do look at my trades. Look at your trades at the end of the week. Look at your trades at the end of the month. 1 to 2 trades a day will eliminate most, if not all, impulsive issues related to decision fatigue. So, how simple is that? If you just simply make the decision I'm only taking 1 or 2 trades. In fact, there are some nights when I know I'm tired, I know I'm irritable, I know I'm exhausted, and I say to myself when I'm sitting in front of the chart, I'm only looking for 1 trade. If I don't see what I want to see, I'm not taking a trade. And I'll be glad to close the night and go to bed. It's been a while since I don't take a trade. Because really with price action, you can get a trade every day. Okay. But sometimes I know I need a break. And if I'm trading anyway, right? If I'm trading anyway, because I'm responsible to be here for you guys and the team and everything else, and the live trades and everything else. If I'm here and I know that my tolerance is low, I'm going to lower my risk. I'm going to lower my trades. I'm going to take 1 trade, and if it wins, fantastic. And if it loses, fantastic. I'm going to bed afterwards, no matter what, because I don't want to deceive myself into thinking, oh, I can handle it. I'm not that special. We are all humans. We all run out of that darn glucose sooner or later. Let's focus on 1 to 2 trades. All right. And that's it. Esto se acabó. Any questions?